What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and I am here today, you guys, with a brand new review for the Real Housewives of Orange County. This is season 19. This is episode number 2, and the episode was titled Old Faces and New Places, you guys. Now, before I do get into the review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel and you guys are not subscribed yet, then I need you guys to do me a solid favor and stop taking me out on this date and having me pay for it at the end of it. You guys know the routine. You can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, you guys, turning on your post notifications, and also by sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, you guys, let us go ahead and get into this episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County, shall we? Now, what I will say before we get into it, if you guys watch this episode, please tell me what you guys thought about it down in the comments section and in the live chat, and we will go ahead and discuss it. So I will start up with Emily. And technically, Emily's scene is what opened the episode up. So with Emily, we are Tamara, and Gina went to this wellness place. I don't know what they were doing, but they were doing something, right? They were doing some different things that I've never really saw before. And so we see them as they finally sat down to like get like these, I guess, like therapeutic massages or whatever. And so they're having a conversation, and Gina is telling Tamara how proud she is of Tamara with, the way she acted at the Golden Door when it came to Shannon. Then Emily is talking about the fact that she is upset with Shannon because she felt like Shannon was defending Katie. Now, I can see how Emily would feel upset about that. But at the same time, I also got where Shannon was coming from. Shannon's whole thing was it literally looked like Emily, Gina, and Tamara were ganging up on Katie. So Shannon chimed in and said she didn't like the way the optics looked. So I got that, right? So then they also talked about this whole situation with Tamara and Katie, right? So Tamara is saying that Katie recorded Shannon last season having a meltdown at their gallery shoot. Now, the gallery shoot is, after their season is wrapped, they do their cast photo, right? So, and it's so convenient when it comes to Tamara. Here's the thing. I'm not a fan of Tamara, but I had to look at this kind of sideways. My thing is, even if you and Shannon were not in a good space last season, right? Y'all went to the reunion and y'all hugged it out at the reunion. Even if you're not let me also say this, even if you weren't in a good space with your friend last season, if you knew this stuff, Tamara, that kind of leads to the narrative that you're not a good friend, that you knew that someone had, like Katie had recorded Shannon when she got to the gallery shoot and let Tamara tell it. Shannon was upset that Alexis was there at the same time that she was, right? So that's why she was going off, right? So she's saying that Katie was on the phone and Katie hung the phone up and recorded Shannon, and that Katie showed this information or gave this information to Alexis, who is the fiance of, what is his name again? Whatever John Jansen, right? And remember, they were in a lawsuit with Shannon last season. So my whole thing is, even if you're not on the good terms with Shannon, if you know she's in a legal situation and you know that the woman that her fiance is suing her has a recording of her, and that was the whole thing of last season, that they had a recording of Shannon, outside of John's house. Even if I'm not on good terms with my friend, I'm still going to give her a heads up and be like, hey, just to let you know, from what I heard from Alexis, somehow Katie recorded you at the gallery shoot and she played it for her, or she gave it to her or something. But again, that lends to the narrative that Tamara is not that great of a friend. So after that, we see a scene with Emily and Shane, right? and they're talking about their son and this eating disorder that he has, right? When it comes to Emily, I'm feeling the same way I used to feel about Lisa Renna on Beverly Hills. When Renna didn't have a storyline, Renna would utilize her daughters as a storyline, and that's really what I'm getting when it comes to Emily. And you can see that she has one, feeling. She has her feelings toward it, but Shane has a completely different, approach to this whole thing because she was telling him about getting the son tested for autism, and like I said, you can clearly see that Emily and Shane are not at all on the same page. They might not even be in the same book when it comes to how to handle things with this little boy. What I will say is I do pray for her and her son. I do pray for him, but I just don't think that, I don't know if this was the right storyline. But hey, whatever. She did it. And if she thought it was a good thing, I mean, it could help somebody. I do believe that. But as I also stated, I also get Lisa Renna vibes when I sit here and listen to this. It just really gives me Renna when she would use her daughters as a storyline. But you guys can tell me what you think and what you feel, and we will move on to the next person, you guys. All right, you guys. So next up, let's talk about Shannon real quick. Now, it really isn't much with Shannon in this episode. Shannon had a brief scene with her daughter. So we see her as she picked Sophie up from the airport. Then we saw a scene with her and Sophie going through her refrigerator where she had something that was rancid in the refrigerator, right? And so she sat down with Sophie, and we found out that Sophie graduated last year from Baylor, and now works in sports up there in New York. So Shannon also discussed Love Hotel. Now you guys know that Love Hotel ended maybe 2 or 3 weeks before OC started. So you guys know Love Hotel starred Giselle from Potomac, Ashley Potomac, Shannon from here, and Luann from New York. Now Shannon did date this guy. I forgot what his name was, but Shannon did date this guy. Now at the end of Love Hotel, it gave an update on everybody. Shannon and the guy did date for a couple of months, but things didn't work out. And from the clips that I saw of Love Hotel with Shannon and that guy, you could tell it wasn't going to work out because they butted heads with each other. But Shannon did let her daughter know, like, she did make some, guy friends from the show. So if she ever goes, like when she goes to events, she'll invite some of them out. And so her daughter asked her, like, are you looking to date? Shannon doesn't really know what she wants to do. And honestly, I don't know what Shannon, I mean, I think Love Hotel was good for her to get out there and have fun after the whole debacle with John Jensen. I think that was a good look for her. But I don't know if Shannon should be dating, especially, until her legal issue. Well, they're behind her, but I think Shannon probably could stand from, a little bit of therapy. But that's really all we got with Shannon. What else we got? So that's it with Shannon. So we will go ahead on and move on to Jen. So with Jen, we see as Jen is having couples night, right? So it's going to be her and Ryan. Then Katie and Matt came over, and then we were also reintroduced to Gretchen Rossi and Slade Smiley. Now I wasn't ecstatic to see Slade, but I was happy to see Gretchen. The only, I loved Gretchen when she was on, before. It has been 11 years since Gretchen has been on the show. The only thing that I have a problem with when it comes to Gretchen is that red hat that she's, been seen wearing before, right? Other than that, outside of the red hat, I still like Gretchen. So they talked about what happened at the Golden Door. Here's the thing. The Golden Door. Honestly, the women have every right to have their grievances with Katie. What I would have preferred is have individual conversations with the woman, right? And air out and and come to some kind of agreement, disagreement, whatever you're gonna come to. The one person who I think should just mind a business and stay the hell out of it is Gina. I think Gina is doing a whole hell of a lot. That is my personal opinion. You guys can tell me what you think and what you feel, right? So we find out from, I think it was either Jen, it was Jen. So Jen is letting us know how she became friends with Gretchen. So she says that she slid into Gretchen's DMs, and this was after her and Tamara got into it. Now, this is, I can't stand people like this, right? A friend of my friend is a friend of my enemy is a, no. I don't read, like, I don't give a fuck how bad down me and my friend get, right? We can get knocked down, drag out bad, but I'm just not gonna reach out to somebody that I know has a issue with my friend. Because what if we make up? Then I'm gonna look like the shady, shisty person. So, we're getting the history of Gretchen and Tamara. So what it happened, this is one of those split scenes, right? Where you see Gretchen talking to Katie and to Jen, right? And then on the flip side, you get Tamara talking to Heather about Gretchen. And I'll talk about that in just a few minutes. So Gretchen is telling us what her issues are currently with Tamara, right? So Gretchen says that Tamara went on the Two T's and a Pod podcast and was talking about Slade, still talking about Slade is a terrible, a deadbeat dad and all this kind of stuff, right? If you believe what the reports say about Slade, then you believe him, right? Now, what I also will say is condolences to the family that's affected by his son's passing from brain cancer. Now, me personally, this is just me, I can only speak for myself. I would never speak on somebody who lost a child, right? Or a parent. I just want to speak on that kind of shit. I wouldn't say, oh, the mom had to raise the money to. I'm not. I stay out of. I would say far, far, far away from that. But Tamara didn't. Tamara spoke on the podcast, so that's what Gretchen's issue is when it comes to Tamara. Am I gonna tell her that she shouldn't have an issue with that? That is between Gretchen and that is between Tamara. So since I'm talking about Tamara, let's go and bring Tamara up on the screen. So we see as Tamara had Heather over to her home, and they were doing a whole lot of construction in Tamara's house because she said she overflowed the sink. I was like, wow, all that for an overflow of a sink. That was a lot. So Heather lets Tamara know, like, hey, I met up with Gretchen. We had dinner, and we just reminisced about old times. So Tamara decides to ask Gretchen, not Gretchen, but Heather, does she have a nose? Because the pictures on Instagram, it looks like she doesn't have a nose. I was like, is that the only thing that you're worried about? Is if she has a nose? I was like, okay, Tamara, whatever, right? So Tamara's whole thing is she wonders how this new friendship that Gretchen has will work out with Katie. And I'm like, why do you care? If it works out, cool. If it don't, then it doesn't. So no skin off your nose, right? Like the things that Tamara says and does, I just be looking at her like there are certain things that you care about, you ask questions about that I just don't understand why. But that's neither here nor there, right? So then Tamara goes on to talk about Jen and how she thinks Jen is insecure. And I was like, okay, dig deeper. I would love to know what you think she's so insecure about, right? So she's talking about she went and moved into the same neighborhood that she and Simon lived in. She got her a hairdresser. She did this, she did that. And I was like, I don't know if that's insecurity or if that, I mean, you can take that however you want to take it. I could also say you could take that as flattery that she is that enamored with your life that she would want to emulate you, right? But that's just my personal opinion, right? But Tamara feels that she wants her life, right? And so then Tamara shows before pictures of Jen. And I was with Heather. She doesn't look that different. Yes, her lips are different. Yes, she's a lot thinner and more fit. But that doesn't mean that she wants to be you. But okay, Tamara, I mean, if that's how you feel, I can't tell you how to feel, but I don't know if I would go that far. But okay, I mean, again, I'm not here to tell Tamara how to feel. If that's how she wants to feel, that's how she feels. So then Tamara's talking about her issues when it comes to Gretchen, right? So Tamara says that her daughter, I forget which, I think it's the daughter's, it's her other daughter, right? The one that doesn't want her to speak about her. So Tamara says that she made a Facebook post and that Gretchen reached out to her. But what you actually see is Gretchen made a comment under her post. So that's not necessarily reaching out to her, but that is conversing. I guess you could say that. I guess you can say that's conversing with her, but it's not necessarily reaching out to her. So that's what Tamara has the issue with when it comes to Gretchen. So we'll move on and wrap this up with Katie, you guys. So let's bring where the hell is Katie? Oh no, I don't have a picture of Katie. Um, damn it. Let's put the cast photo back up there. You guys know who Katie is. So Tamara, not Tamara, but Katie. So we see Katie. So Katie is meeting up with Shannon, right? And when she met up with Shannon, she was talking to Shannon about what happened at what is it? Golden Door, right? And she thanked her for being there for her because she said she heard Shannon whisper that she shut down. And Katie said that she absolutely was shutting down. I mean, here's the thing, I don't blame her for shutting down because, again, if it's a whole group of women coming at me, then yes, I'm going to shut the fuck down. Like, what are we talking about here? So, what I will say is, Katie, girl, the things that I be wanting to defend you, but some things that you do, Katie, you can't really defend it 100%. Actually, you can't defend it at all because it is very weird, some of the things that you do, because it does very much so give calculated. And I get that Katie is saying that, she was pissed off with the girls and that's why she did certain things. And I'm not going to sit here and knock Katie and say, oh, you shouldn't feel how you feel. But the things that you've done, it's a little weird, Katie. I just have to be real and I have to be honest. And I do like Katie, I really do. But her action, I mean, my God, Katie, my God, today, again, can't defend the things that you do. And I think with Katie, if Katie would just kind of the problem with Katie is that Katie doesn't own up to what she does, and Katie lies, unfortunately. Because here's my other thing when it comes down to the whole Katie thing. I also feel like the ladies are upset with Katie, but some of y'all are no better than Katie because like y'all say and do things to each other. But it feels like now that Katie does it, oh, let's attack Katie. Let's go at Katie. Let's get at Katie for what Katie did, right? So Shannon is telling Katie that she just needs to buckle down and apologize to the girls. And Katie starts with one of those but if apologies, right? And Shannon, I'm glad that Shannon said something to her, like, no, Katie, like, don't, that's not the type of apology that you want to give to them. And I was like, exactly. Like, y'all know me. Y'all know I hate a but if apology. That ain't no apology. If it starts with but and if, it's not a fucking apology. And that's my personal opinion. So they, like I said, they had that conversation. And then after that, now you guys remember in this episode, Katie is having her hot pot event, right? So let's see, because I won't even read my notes. I was just going off the top of the brain. Let's make sure I got everything when it comes to Katie. Yeah, so that's it. And so the ladies all show up for hot pot, right? So all the ladies got there. Everything was cool and cordial when they got there until, Gretchen came in. Now, when Gretchen came in, Tamara and Gretchen did speak to each other. It was a little awkward when they spoke to each other. So somebody asked Gretchen, like, how are things, what's going on in your life? And she told them about being a mom and all this kind of stuff, right? And then we found out from Emily that she met Gretchen at her 40th birthday party, and that caused a little bit of an issue with she and Tamra. I'm like, why? But neither here nor there, right? So Katie thanked all the ladies for coming to this, her hot pot thing, right? And she said that she has regrets. And then Gina decided to chime in. I said, Gina, shut up. Like, Gina, sit over there, eat your food, mind your business, just shut up, right? So then Gina decides to open up her big mouth and let it be known that, Tamara told them that Katie recorded Shannon at the what's it, the gallery photo shoot last season. And Katie said there's no recording. There's no video. I was like, Katie, that, oh God. Now, Katie, I get that that one right there might have been that was semantics. There's no video, but there is audio, right? So Tamara said, but you told me you did. And so then Katie says, well, I was on the phone with Matt. Shannon came in upset and she hung up with Matt and did a voice note. I was like, oh God, Katie, why? Why? So Katie says in her interview that she was pissed off because they were having such a good day. And then here comes Shannon screaming, yelling, and cussing. I said, oh my God. Katie, 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 why would you do that? And then she says, now I don't know if she was throwing Jen under the bus because the way Emily was and Gina were talking, you would think that she said because she was saying that we played it for them. I thought she was saying me and Matt played it for them, for Alexis, but those two over there are taking it that it was Katie and Jen, right? I was like, oh my God. So Shannon ended up leaving. And honestly, I don't blame Shannon for leaving. So this is why we see in the trailer Shannon blowing up on Katie. Katie, Katie, Katie. My God, today, girl. I really, yeah, I don't, I can see it now. There is no defending you this season. So then we also brought up the whole thing of the blogger because not Emily, but Gina brought that up as well. So Tamara said that they cleared it up, and Tamara says that, which we actually see a flashback clip where Katie went over to Tamara's and told Tamara, "Yeah, I did call her. I called her on Instagram." I said, "Oh, Katie, you got a lying problem." But that's common when it comes to housewives. Let's not act like the housewives are not known to lie, right? So then Gretchen and Tamara, they went back and forth with each other. Gretchen brought up, Tamara and the whole deadbeat comment, and Tamara brought up the whole Facebook thing, right? But again, Tamara, Gretchen really didn't reach out to your daughter. She posted a comment, and then Gretchen says that that was her ex-husband who did that. And Gretchen said Gretchen said to Tamara, "No, your daughter made a post saying that it wasn't her father, that it was her." And Tamara says that that's not true, but Tamara, they did show it on the screen, so sounds like you're lying, boo. But whatever. Hey, Kiwan. Yeah, my birthday was Wednesday, but it's still my birthday week, and thank you so much. But yeah, birthday was Wednesday, but I celebrate all of July, so technically today is still my birthday. Technically today is still my birthday. I celebrate the whole entire month, and I damn sure celebrate the whole entire week of my birthday. So you are right on time. But yeah, you guys, that was it for OC. Overall, it was a good episode. Yeah, like I said, Katie, girl, I really want to be defending you, but I can't defend you on the lies. And Tamara, you're just full of crap. That's all I gotta say. What else we got, you guys? So yeah, that's it, you guys. So the next thing that's coming up is let's get into the blog. Well, they cutting the food and let's get into the blogs. Those are already edited. and they're scheduled to go premiere at 4 o'clock and 4:30 respectively. I've already watched what's that show? Divorce Sisters. Tyler, I'm not gonna let you keep playing in my face, but we'll talk about Divorce Sisters once we get to the episode that came out last night or today. Well, yesterday. The episode from yesterday. We'll discuss that. That'll probably be up Saturday morning. Then Beyond the Gates, I have to get caught up on episodes from Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and today. So I got 4 episodes to get caught up on, and that should be up sometime tomorrow as well. And that's all I got, you guys. And y'all know Housewives of Atlanta Part 2 of the reunion airs Sunday. So we'll go live sometime Monday. Now, I will say, you guys, my schedule is about to change again because I'm getting ready to go back to work, unfortunately. So the schedule is going to change, but we will stick with the lives. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do the lives. That's the only thing. So, what I'm thinking, if I don't do the live the night that the episode goes off, I'm probably will get up. Hmm. I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. But we will still be going live no matter what. We'll still be going live. I just have to figure out the time to go live. But yeah, you guys, that's all I got. And be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, and share the video. You guys, and until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll see you guys in They Cutting the Food, which we're talking about Nicki Minaj and Azalea Banks. So I'll see you guys later. Bye, y'all. Have a great weekend, by the way.